Hi, everybody. Okay. Bankai Night 22. You know what time it is. I'm not wearing the shirt, but you know what time it is. Bleach. Battles of Your Blood War, Season 4, Episode 2. Son of Darkness. Okay. I want to start by saying this. Yhwach. Lame. Listen. This whole notion, Son of Darkness, that you're my son, let's stop, okay? The only evidence you could even argue with this whole scenario where he says, I created you, is that's what he basically tells Ichigo when he's fighting him in this episode. And it's like, no, you're not. Are you Masaki's husband? No, you're not. Oh, because you stole powers. Well, no, you're not. I'm sorry. It's so... It's almost like Kubo was trying his hardest to say, yeah, this is what I'm going to do for the final arc. Oh, by the way, we're going to have a Star Wars reference. Because that's what this is. This is a Star Wars reference. You might as well call it that. You might as well just plaster it across the board on a wall saying, Ichigo is Luke Skywalker and Yhwach is Darth Vader. But that's not where we start with the episode. The episode's kind of interesting. We actually get kind of heartfelt scene with Orihime looking at flowers with her friend Tatsuki, I think her name is. And she sees this flower that's red and it's almost like on fire. And she says, oh, that's Ichigo. Even though she says, oh, what about that flower, you know? But she says that's Ichigo. It's basically referencing how Orihime now can be at Ichigo's side when he's in battle. Like, she wasn't able to do that during the Rancor arc, or Espada, Karakura Town thing. She wasn't able to do that in the Soul Society arc. So here now, she feels she can do that. We get that scene, and then we quickly go into this battle. Holy shnikes, this battle! Now, I remember this battle from the manga, but not entirely. I remember what Urahara did, but I don't remember what else happened. So, the battle ensues, basically a continuation from Yoruichi. Yoruichi's out of commission because of the poison that Lavar, who... Yeah, this guy belongs in a JoJo anime. That's all right, I have to say it. So he releases his basically Spriggan thing. The Starub. Sorry, bad German. And it's basically a gift ball that's all with poison. So he controls everything that's in the ball. Now, he like cuts, uses his poison to like blind Urahara. And they had a little conversation. Oh, I don't like loyalty to this one. Action-wise, he's gonna release his bankai. Yeah, let's start with that. I do remember this from the manga, but not completely. So, the way that Benihime, his bankai version, works is this. He can sew up any injury that he happens to have. And when his opponent comes in with range, he cuts them. Now, this is basically, the best way I can describe this fight is a war of attrition. Basically, Kisuke attacks, he falls back, he attacks, he sews up the wound. He sews up the wound. He sews up the wound. It was like, oh my God! Back and forth. Until eventually, you notice Kisuke's making a path. He's not really like, you know, he's going from place to place. He's creating like a path with his bankai, and he's going along the path. He's like gliding. It was like kind of funny. I like the way they did that in this episode with the gliding kind of thing. And at a certain point, he brings up the fact that, okay, yeah, I can't escape, and it's impossible to escape, but it's not impenetrable. Out of nowhere, here comes Grinjow! Arm through the chest. He crushes not Glavar, his heart. But, caveat time, if he dies, he releases this immense amount of poison, and okay. So what ends on happening is Kisuke kind of makes a hole inside of the barrier of the ball, and we have Nell outside, and it looks like she's gonna go get them. Now, that's where we leave off of that. After that, we go to Ichigo. Now, like I said before, I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. It was a great episode. But my problem with this episode is Yhwach's monologue. That's what it is. It's a monologue. He's monologuing the shit. Saying, you are my son, I created you. That you are not... Listen, I'm sorry to Kubo. He is not Darth Vader. Ichigo is not Luke Skywalker. Please! But that's basically what occurs. We get also a scene with Uryu. He's fighting with Hoshwald. This is just a prelude. It's just for bye time. Eventually, Yhwach gets his powers. And he goes on this whole monologue about, oh, you know, son of darkness. Oh, your mother did something good. She died. Oh, you'll be absorbed by me. I'm like, see, it's in my honest belief that Aizen is the better villain. That's my belief. Now listen, I'm not saying I completely hate Yhwach, but this episode when he monologues is kind of lame. It's kind of lame. Because let's be honest here. For you to say that you created Ichigo, that means you must have married Misaki. Hmm? No, he didn't. The only claim here is that, oh, he absorbed all the powers of the Quincy. Okay, you absorbed all the powers of the Quincy. The problem with this notion is that you're not his father. You're not. Okay? In fact, if I'm being very blunt, you might as well say Aizen's his father. because in the retrospect, during the flashback with Ichigo's father, Ishin, and Misaki, we see scenes with Aizen. And not Hollow. I was just saying he created Ichigo. So let me get you straight. 2 villains created Ichigo. Is that what we're going with here? No, we're not. As much as we want to make a reference here, and you know, it's a back and forth between them, and he's like using the Soul King's powers to absorb him, not really absorb him, he's fighting it off, and then we get a standstill, and there's like a scene where Ichigo sees the rain when his mother died. He's really pissed off. He says, "This Yhwach's getting like under his skin at this point," and that's where the scene ends. But I'm still giving this a 9 out of 10. But let's be freaking blunt here. This all has to do with Zangetsu. The Zanbakuto that Ichigo had when he got his soul, when he became a Soul Reaper. That's really what this is about. Now, the problem is that he got his Soul Reaper abilities from his father. And his move was Tetsuga, Getsuga Tensho. That's the whole bit. Now, the thing is, he was influenced by the Hollow. Zangetsu, for better or for worse, is probably a representation of his Zanbakuto at the time, because I'm guessing it was the only thing I can explain this is his mother. So his mother must have, because it was his father and his mother gave, the whole bit. So the powers that he inherited was one, the hollow that was inside of him, and two, the soul reaper ability from his father. But his father can do Getsuga Tensho, so the Zangetsu thing is just like, I look at it as a link that he had with his mother, because she was a Quincy. So for Bach to say, I am your father, is horseshit. Because that would mean that you must have had sex with Masaki. Oh, wait, you didn't. But it all brings up to a point of stating basically the obvious. In Yhwach's eyes, Yhwach is like the father of Quincy's. That's how you gotta look at it. But my problem is, the whole monologue just... I'm sorry. I know how this ends, and I'm not gonna like the way it ends. If they have it as is, I'm not gonna like the way it ends. But I'm gonna say this right now. Can we please, Kubo and Period, can we change what happens, please? Can we? At least a little bit? Because I'm telling you right now, the only way this series succeeds is if things change regarding the outcome of the conclusion of this story. But that's all I got for you guys. Comment section, if you want to chime in about this whole... I can't stand this whole Son of Darkness thing. It's asinine. It's asinine. Because in that frame, might as well just say Urliu was your son. But I think I know why he said it that way. Because Urliu has a Quincy father and a Quincy mother. Ichigo just has a Quincy mother. So he thinks, oh, I'm a Quincy father. But I digress. That's all I got for you guys. Next week, it's going to be something different. I think going back to Hitsugaya. Should be good. I'll see you guys later. Peace. 9 out of 10.